Hello, thanks for checking out the video. This is an Ultramarine army I did in the early end of 2016. I was messing around with building like a tactical squad that was similar to the video game Space Marine at the time, with the adorned gold, embellished armour, lots of kind of character and flavour. So I took the Stern Guard veteran kit, mixed it with a tactical squad kit, and came up with something you see on the screen now. Just going to do a little comparison to what that looks like compared to my older tactical squad. This was made back in the day. You can see the shoulder is 6th Company as opposed to 3rd Company. I like to do things similar to the Battle Company my Games Workshop store was in at the time. So it was a 6th Company store. I got promoted to a 3rd Company store, but you can see here, this is what the old Marines look like. 25mm bases. The transfer wise, I didn't have the embossed shoulder pad, so I used transfers, and I used Ardco on the shoulder pad first. Then you put the transfer on, and what that does is it softens the transfer paper and stops that weird, like, kind of satin look. Once it dries, it obviously goes shiny because of the Ardco, so then you chuck Lamy and medium over the top, and that dulls the whole thing down. But the important part is you don't see the weird gloss where the transfer paper is, which you normally do if you put a transfer on without this process. So I was quite proud of the transfers for the 6th Company Space Marines, but they're a bit old, they're a bit antiquated, and they really needed an upgrade. The 32mm bases helped, the new paint scheme helped, and using the Stern Guard kit to really pimp out the Space Marines made it look cool. So let's talk about the next part of the army. This unfortunately never got completed. So this is a Terminator strike force. 20 Terminators, Terminator Lord, there was a Storm Raven gunship, Venerable Dreadnought, and a Land Raider. I used the Forge World shoulder pads on these guys just because it was the only way to get an embossed Ultramarines logo, and I wanted to remain consistent with the army. Now, paint scheme wise, the Ultramarines went for, it was Cantor Blue as a base coat, then it was Macragge Blue, and then a Calidor Sky dry brush. And to do the low lights, so basically to paint in, well, essentially like a wash almost, but you're just painting in the recesses and inside the lines, I used a very thin brush and some watered down, I think it was the darkest brown at the time, which would have been something like dried bark, I believe. The other part of these is I used the bases from one of the kind of funky base sets. This was a Cityscape one. The only thing I wish I'd done at the time is mix some grass and sand on them as well to bring them in a little bit uniform with the 3rd Company guys, but also give them that kind of Cityscape feel. So let's take a look back at the Terminator, and we'll do a comparison of that guy with the old Terminators I had, and you can see the colour difference straight away as a comparison. I quite like the paint scheme on the Terminator on the left, although it was done in 2012, and the basing I think I prefer, if I'm honest. But the colour scheme of the Ultramarine blue armour is that classic kind of Codex blue, and I really wanted to go for something quite stark. So you can see here with the tactical squad guy, again, trying to make him look as pimp as possible. He's actually WYSIWYG with just a bolt gun and a combat weapon, but I wanted to make him look just outrageously cool. Thankfully, Games Workshop have come up with Primaris Marines since I've done this video, and they are particularly pimp. They look amazing, and there's no need to kind of combine Stern Guard kits with tactical squads or get Forge World upgrades or anything. You know, the kits nowadays are just, they're absolutely superb, to be fair. So at a glance, here's the entire Terminator wing. It was a bit daunting, actually, looking back with them 20 Terminators, paint them all up in one go. I got as far as the bases. I think I spray painted these guys and did a couple of base coats, but I definitely never got around to detailing and finishing the guys.